Welcome to Seat Time, everybody, the off-road show that brings you all the results, news, and online shenanigans that make being online a good time. We'd like to say thank you to Fly Racing for their support of Seat Time. Please go check them out at flyracing.com.
Presented to you by Fly Racing. It's Tuesday evening in Texas. Cheers, Proster. Just enjoy yourself a kind beverage. Welcome to Seat Time. We're glad that you guys are here, of course. Presented to you by Fly Racing. You got to check more about those guys off at flyracing.com. Big thanks to Kinda Tire, kindatire.com. You can find out more about all the wares that they have and the rubber to make all your riding that much better. And, of course, Stillwell Performance. We'll chat about all those guys a little bit more into the episode, of course, but stillwellperformance.com is where you can find out more about that. I just got my Stillwell Performance box in, looking to send off my new 350 XC suspension, get that dialed in, get rid of some of that harshness from the 4CS, get a little bit more supple ride. It'll be a good time. Remember, Seat Time is archived on the site, which is seattime.co. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I mean, hell, I think we even have a Snapchat if shit just needs to get weird and you feel like sending nudie pics of yourself with your motorcycle. We're probably the only people that are really going to be okay with that, so let's just have that happen. Of course, Stitcher and iTunes, if you're just looking for the audio version of the show, you can find that there as well. We do have a chat room, tlk.io/seattime. If you'd like to post questions for guys that we have on, just chat with us, make fun of my mustache, make fun of my hair. I'm just going to tell you to suck it on the air. It really doesn't matter to me. We'd appreciate it if you just have fun with us. So this evening, we're going to have Kailub Russell and Cody Webb on. I think it's going to be a good time, so let's jump right in there. Mr. Kailub Russell, KR557, how's your evening going, kind sir?
It's going pretty good. Just got out of the shower, Chandler fixed some dinner, and had a pretty good afternoon mountain biking, so pretty lazy morning, but still a little sore from the weekend and just trying to get recovered up and, enjoying the time off. I got another weekend off, and so it's pretty nice. It's going to be my last weekend off for like 7 weeks. So
for a very, very long time.
trying to enjoy my time, like just sitting around at the house, and it's getting warm, so I'm starting to get the itch to go jet skiing, but the water's still pretty cold. But other than that, just hanging out.
Right on. Do you foresee a mullet in the near future? Could we ever see that coming back? Quite possibly.
I've already got one started a little bit. I tucked my hair in.
That is a lot of party or a lot of business in the front. That's getting in there. I like it. Well, so when you shower before coming on Seat Time, do you go, okay, I really just need to clean my face because that's all they're going to see? Or do you you're going to sit there for a little bit, you're just going to worry about everything getting all, spit and span?
No, I clean I shower normally, pretty much.
It's understandable.
Take the old balls and
hey, there it is. Yes.
Get in there real deep.
I like it. It's like, do I do a loofah today? Do I do more of a bar? I don't know. Do I want to be more handsy? So there's the decisions we have to make when you have so many options on how to shower. Well, everybody now knows what you do clean, and maybe they're going to go home and try that on themselves, see if they become that much faster. I would like to know if there are any good, positive, negative results from that.
Yeah, actually, I just got a new soft water system put in too. So it's only my second shower in it. So I kind of get in there, and it feels all weird right now at first, but I haven't quite got used to it.
Oh, I bet that's got to be different. We had one of those in a house a long time ago when we didn't have soft water, and I was just like, it feels so different.
Yeah, it feels like you still got soap on you.
Yeah, I'm so lubed up.
Yeah,
just like a good Saturday night. So, dude, you've been kicking ass at the GNCCs. You've been doing fairly well as well at the National Enduros, and obviously fairly well. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but you've got the points lead, so you've had a pretty successful 20,015 so far. When you were coming into the season, any expectations of doing as well as you are currently?
Well, I mean, obviously, 2015 expectations aren't any different than previous years.
Okay.
Obviously, I was kind of decided late in the year to do the. Actually, a couple months before, maybe a month before the enduro started to do those, and I made a deal with Auntie to do the first two, and I told him I would continue doing them as long as I was in the points lead or had won one and was in contention. So, I'm not too stoked on the 2 seconds. That's definitely not what I want, but it's a completely different game, and um, it's going to be tough to figure out. I've only done, I think, the two this year makes I think 6 total national enduros that I've ever done. So it's still all pretty new, and just trying to figure out reading the terrain a little bit better, and you know, it's like anything else. Knowing how to win is everything. So, and I haven't won one yet, so I can't say I know how to get the job done just yet. But in the GNCCs, I obviously am quite capable and experienced, and
Yeah, you figured it out.
anything other than winning is a disappointment. So, but I mean, I just go about it, like anything else. I work hard at it, and I've got my mindset of what I want to do, and it's not like I sit here and think of the season as a whole right now and say this is what I'm going to do every race, but I just take it race by race, and I want to win every race that I race. So I make sure I'm prepared, and I got my game plan and line up, and know what I'm doing.
Right on. Yeah, I learned my lesson. I think it was going into the 2014 season was when I wouldn't say second guessed, but just was like, I don't think that you could win 2 GNCC titles in a row. Obviously you could, and at this point I'm not going to say that you can't do anything, because I'm not going to add fuel to that fire, knowing how much that kind of pushes you when somebody doubts what you can and can't accomplish. So what has that been like in the sense of what people was there any doubt or doubters or things that you had been hearing about you and coming into this 2015 season, obviously more specific to the GNCC, since that's where you're the 2-time champion?
No, I mean it's pretty well set in stone now that I know how to get the job done, but it's all about knowing how to do it and the way you go about it. So
right,
I think that's the biggest thing. And I'm racing. There's only I don't think anybody that I'm racing with has ever, besides Strang and Thad, there's a bunch of people that haven't won a race. So it's still the XC1 Pro line's kind of really, I don't want to say, they're kind of young riders and still trying to get into things. So it's really tough for those guys.
Right. I've chatted with you a couple times about how tough it is sometimes when you don't get the lead, and obviously we saw kind of like that happen with Strang this weekend. I mean, he came back from pretty much dead last in the XC1 class to being able to get back in second, where he was challenging with Thad there at the end. But you didn't actually have the lead right off the bat this time. You had to get around Ashburn. How quickly did you get around him this race? I tuned in a little bit behind. So was it fairly quickly? Was it like the second turn, or did it take a little bit longer than that this time?
No, I actually was in third, and Hoop sent me a picture today, and I had a pretty close call. I got a little squirrely going up the hill where Strang crashed. Sipes kind of came in a little hot and kind of ran it in on Josh, and Josh kind of got hung up on his shoulder and just fell over, and then I almost got tangled up in that too. But I was behind Sipes and then Ashburn, and if the camera at the bridge would have been working, you could have seen me pass Sipes and Ashburn all within like 100 yards. So
nice. Too bad.
I passed Sipes going underneath the bridge, and then I ran it in on Ashburn and kind of blocked the line going across the creek, all within camera sight there, right where everybody was standing. So I got in the lead really quick, probably within a mile or maybe 2. I'm not sure how, probably a mile and a half.
Right.
And then they put in a little bike only section for the afternoon. There's a downhill. And it was kind of slick, and it had a root in a wrong spot. And I knew if I was going to try to make the turn that I was going to fall over. So I just slid by the turn, and I kind of got wedged in between 2 trees, and I just had to back my bike up and take off again. But they got back by me, and then I ended up getting them again later in the lap. And I was actually really late in the lap, and I was still able to gap them a little bit there on the first lap, and just kind of get out of sight. And that's kind of my game plan, is just those guys can't really key key off me, and I feel like I'm definitely the fastest guy on the track most of the time, and if I can get out of sight, those guys can't follow me or can't keep up with the pace, and I just kind of get settled into a nice fast pace and let the race come to me. But that's the game plan. Right? It doesn't always go that way, but it's worked the first three so far. But
Right. How do you practice that speed at the very, like, obviously once you hit the race you're ready to go, but that first lap speed that you have, you say like, I need to try to get out of sight, because if you can do that, then it's hard for them to be able to keep that pace. What would somebody like myself, or what do you to tell me, like, how could I go try to learn that ability to just hammer down like you do? Is there anything special, or is it just a mental stage that you get on?
it's doing your homework. I
Right
mean,
on.
it's like anything in life. It doesn't come easy. You got to work at it. And I've got right now, the way the GNCC set up, you can't walk the track anymore on Saturday, so you got to walk it on Sunday morning. And actually, I think it's more of a pain in the ass now, but it might be better for me because everything's a little more fresh in my mind. Like, I always walk like the first little bit, and I'm really good at visualizing and remembering everything. And I sit there on the starting line with my head down, like not socializing with anybody. It's not because I'm arrogant or anything. I'm just sitting there. I know where my front wheel is going to be at the 5 mile marker.
Yeah. Well, that's
And I think the biggest thing about being able to ride the way I can on the first few laps is, I'm just a little bit smarter than those guys, and just do my homework. I mean, it's not that hard to go walk the track and then really come back to I go straight back to the motorhome and think about everything that I just walked and process it and visualize how my bike's going to feel over every part of the track. So
interesting.
I already feel like I already rode a lap before I've even got on my bike. So
That's smart. That's really it. They're in if you,
I mean, it's just common sense, but
well, but
most people don't practice that.
There's stupid people like me out there, and obviously I say it like that. Stupid's not the right way. It's just that, yes, it's like you're fast, and then so you go, okay, how do I take fast and make it more of an advantage? And you go, okay, I need to ride it mentally in my head before I ever actually get the bike on it, and that's how you make that happen, is by walking the track, going home and doing that homework. It's funny because Kurt Caselli would say the same thing, that he would win the race in his head at the line. Before the race ever even started, he knew what that first lap was going to look like, and if he could replicate what he saw in his mind or what he rode in his mind, he knew he could win. So that's interesting that you would kind of have that same approach to it, and it's scary that I wish that I could do that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys are like really seem to be against walking the track and all this and that. That's kind of why I struggle in the enduros, because you're just reading the terrain and not being able to, walk anything and visualize. And I think that's kind of what's getting me a little flustered there. But something I need to figure out, and I need to get better. It's plain and simple. I need to get better at enduros and that type of riding. And it's good. I'm actually kind of enjoying it right now a little bit. Can't really say I enjoy the format. I like the Hoop Sprint Enduro format a lot better, and the ISD format. But
well, tell me about why, because they're fairly close. Or is it that you would prefer the much more sprinty, extremely quick test? So yeah, tell me why you like the Sprint Enduro a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at the enduros you can't walk. You're not allowed to walk any of the tests either. And the Sprint Enduros you can walk it and visualize and do all that, and it's more open and it's more ISDE. It's more, new school, or new age riding style. The enduros are just kind of, I feel, a little dated and need something spruced up about them. But
well, you should have tried a timekeeper and you would have hated life.
Oh, I actually raced the last real national enduro with my dad back in, I think, 06. I was at Delaware. But, I'm not saying I don't like the series. I mean, I like Alan Rant, Melissa. I know them very well, and it's just not my cup of tea.
Right.
But, but it's I don't know. I just need to get better at it, and I want to, so that's a good thing. But hopefully I can get a win here pretty soon. I'm gonna drive myself insane. So
I would agree. We had a question in the chat room from Blinky or Blink_618. I don't. Does that means anything to you? Let's figure this out. Any chance that we'll see him again on a 2-stroke for some of the last races? Now, obviously, that's in lieu of you racing on the 150. Is there any talk of that if you can do another, pull off another win early, that you would do something of the same as you did last year?
I never say never, but it's too early in the season to think of that. I don't look at it at all like I've got anything wrapped up. I still got a lot of work to do.
Long season.
There's still 10 more GNCCs and 7 more enduros and 4 more sprint enduros than ISDE. So I've got a lot on my plate, and I like to take it race by race. And I'm not gonna say yeah or no right now, and it might happen, it might not. But
yeah, right on. Well, so what about a seat time fundraiser? You could do that. It could get you on a 150 and raffle that off.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Never know.
like a little 105, like one of the BBCs, the little pit bikes. Beep.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be fun. So, what do you think about the Huskies? The Huskies team seems to be kicking butt this year. I mean, obviously they're not beating you, and that's the goal I would imagine, for most of those racers, is to get a win in there. But it's pretty cool, I think, anyway, to see those guys, to see those bikes, being not just at the front or close to the front, but is up on the podium as they are.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really seen them. They look pretty good behind me, though.
Oh, I love Kailub Russell. Damn it, you're the best guy on the show. Just honest, just the truth, just the truth.
No, I mean, I can't comment on that. I ride a KTM, so they own them. KTM owns them, but it's I honestly haven't ridden one, so I can't really, not in a position, or can I really comment about them.
I like it, and you're a good professional at the same time. So obviously you are going to be at some of the national enduros now moving forward, up until you're either out of the point leads or you're just like you've gotten a win and you're kind of like, okay, done. But so that means we'll see you at Tennessee, correct?
Yep.
All right, perfect.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just gonna kind of in it for the long haul now. We'll see. I mean, if something happens, then I'm not contracted, nor am I being paid any more salary to race them. So I can kind of have the final say so in what happens. So KTM's supporting me to do them. So, and I feel like I can I feel like I can be where I want to be. It's just a matter of time.
Right on. Cool. And one of my other questions was obviously what you've thought about the National Enduros so far, but we've honestly really kind of covered a lot of that. I think it's interesting how you're saying that they feel a little outdated, which I can still understand that. I think that there's a lot of people that don't really understand the no walking, and then of course a lot of the times you're going to get into the tighter stuff, and there's just all different types of formats, and that's kind of like why we have different series and all that fun stuff. So, but it's neat that we have the full gas sprint enduro. People have talked about having this format forever. We were talking about starting something like that in Texas, all kinds of fun stuff. So it's great that you guys have that. I would imagine the way that you've talked about it, you've really enjoyed the first one that Hoop's already put on this year.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it last year, and I thought it was a really good warm up for 6 days, and kind of already getting the groove. And that's kind of, if you look at the guys that do really well at 6 days. And the best series in the best series in the world are in America, bar none. And then our trophy team goes to 6 days and gets waxed, and it's pretty embarrassing. But and I mean, you look at Milner and Strang and the sprint enduros, they're fast, and then it's kind of just me. And I really like to see some more Americans get in there and do them, because if you want to do 6 days, you need to be able to do really well at the sprint enduros, because it's the same format, it's the same thing, and you got to go fast. And we just need some more Americans that are off-road riders that can go really fast. And it's just kind of losing what I'm trying to say here, but it's something that I think we can do and needs to happen. But we just don't have enough really fast Americans, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, we're going to be getting, the East Coast qualifier is now going to be one
And it's
of
not.
the.
Let me interrupt you. It's not like there's a lot of, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fast Americans, and we did really well last year. But the way everything's broke up is East versus West, and the trains are totally opposite. So this year we're going to Slovakia, and it's kind of hard to pick a rider from the West Coast that's not really ridden anything in the mud or roots and has no experience in that. And then, the guys that we do have on the East Coast that have good experience in that aren't necessarily, the fastest guys to pick.
Right.
So there might be a guy from the West Coast that's faster and can do better in that format, but has never really experienced that terrain. And, when you get over there, the pressure or whatever it may be can really get to somebody. So it's kind of we got to, don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of fast guys, but I feel like we need a more solidified group of people that are versatile.
Yeah, no. And I think we're going to get that. Hopefully, we're going to at least see the beginnings of trying to figure out a way to get that better with the fact that we've got the full gas sprint enduro with their newly addition to the schedule. That's going to be the East Coast qualifier, which personally, I've never been to Slovakia. I have no idea exactly what the terrain's going to be like, and then I don't really know what that's going to match up with the sprint enduro that's going to happen. But it'll be cool to see. I think a big part of what you said is kind of what some other people think, is that sometimes maybe they should try to have these qualifiers line up with the type of terrain that they're going to be, opposed to just having the same club put on a qualifier each year. And I'm glad that they're changing it up with hoops. In that way, what can happen is, and if a West Coast guy wants to have a chance, then he needs to come do the qualifiers that are on these kind of terrains to prove that he can ride in a terrain that, close to what we think the 6 days is going to be like. But we know it's tough and it's money and all the other shit that goes along with that. So
yeah, and it's a lot different when you go about picking the World Trophy team and Junior Trophy team, because we're not required to to race the qualifier, and
right.
I don't think we should be. I mean, it's it shouldn't be whoever has the time to go to the qualifier and do this and that. It should be a select few group of guys. I think Auntie has 12 guys on his list that he's thinking about choosing, and I don't know who everybody is, and Taylor Robert and myself are already kind of confirmed, and everything else is kind of still up in the air right now. So we'll have to wait and see, and I'm not really sure what exactly is he's waiting on, but he'll get it figured out. I mean, he's done a really good job picking the teams, and we had a winning team last year, and just had some mistakes.
Yeah, no, and that kind of stuff can happen, and that's what makes 6 days so difficult. Is you could, obviously on paper we should have won, but yeah, when you have little things go wrong, that kind of gets in the way. So to wrap things up, any kind of TKO or endurocross this year for fun again, or obviously your plate's full, but I didn't know if you were looking forward to doing that again or wanted to practice, maybe some more backflips, that kind of stuff.
Last time I tried the backflip, I broke my kneecap, so
no.
No. But, and that was even before the year started. I didn't realize it until November.
Oh man.
I enjoyed the TKO last year. I sucked when it it actually came time to perform. I really choked. And I was just by that time it was raining and downpouring, and I was really over it. And
I was over it taking pictures, so I can only imagine how sucky it would have been to be out there riding.
Yeah, I made a couple mistakes. The first loop was fine. It was really good. I did pretty well. I got third, and the second loop, we went out for the second qualifying loop before the main. And I started off really good, and I picked a bunch of people off, like in the row ahead of me. and then I ghosted rode my bike up a hill because I wasn't going to make it because of rain. There's literally a mudslide coming down this hill. It was so steep, and it was raining that hard. When I ghost rode my bike, it slid back down, and the bars wedged in between a tree and the dirt, and it was on a hill, and there's no help allowed. But I actually ended up getting help from 3 people and 2 course marshals. So they would have to cut the tree down to get my bike out if it was just me.
Right. Little old Kailub Russell. What are you, like 5'6"?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 5'6".
Hey guys, can you help me with my bike? I mean, we'll give you 5'6.5" with boots on.
Yeah, but I would like to. I was wanting to do King of Motos this year too, but it was
that would have been wicked.
the first enduro. So I really enjoy riding the 2-stroke and doing those races. I had a lot of fun last year doing it, but I just got so much going on, and I just don't see any fun really happening this year.
I understand. Hey, yeah, no, you do have a very full plate for sure with all that you have going on. Well, cool, man. Well, like I was telling you, it's one of those things where you were winning, and I wanted to have you on the show, but I was like, crap, I don't know. He looks like he's on a roll. I'm going to let this play out. So once I saw that you had 3 wins in a row, that's when I was like, we got to have this dude on. I was like, holy shit, you're just dominating. So, dude, awesome job starting off this season. I know that there are a lot of people that want to kick your ass right now. On a dirt bike. I don't know about physically. That's not my cup of tea. But obviously it's tough, and they're gonna have to do their homework, like you say. And I hope it doesn't happen. Maybe you make a mistake or whatever. But those are the things that they have to be close enough to be able to capitalize on. So it's crazy. So just keep it up. Keep having fun, because obviously you're having a great time, and it's been great watching it. So awesome job, dude.
Yeah, it's been good so far. Just keep trying to outsmart those boys. But that's what it's all about, really. Is once you learn how to win, you really need to do your homework and obviously be fit, and then being smart about how you go about things and what you do on race days to make race day go smoother. It's all part of the job, and I feel like a lot of people haven't really figured that out yet.
That's okay. They're gonna watch. They're gonna watch or listen to Seat Time, and then it's gonna be an even playing field. Don't worry, they don't. So it's just like me and like 5 other guys. So we're good. I'm not gonna come beat you anytime soon.
Sounds good.
All right, dude. Well, thank you very much for being on the show, and good luck. I guess we'll see you at the GNCC in like a week and a half.
How are you coming?
No, but I'm gonna virtually see you.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you're doing the arrive and ride thing again.
Oh, that would be so awesome, but that costs money. I'm actually going to be in Baja in 2 weeks, just finishing up getting back from Baja. So,
well,
I'm gonna have the sorest taint ever. 7 days, 1,500 miles, but I'm gonna recover with 3 days on the beach in Cabo, and I've never been to Cabo, so hopefully I'm sober enough to remember part of it.
You just got to remember you're still in Mexico, so it's shit anyways.
There it is. You just ruined the whole trip. Thanks, dude. You have a good one. We appreciate it.
All right, sounds good. See you, Brian.
Later, man. Awesome. It's so much fun talking to Kailub Russell. One of the things I love about that guy is just it's not brutal honesty. It's just honesty. He doesn't ever need to sugarcoat anything. He doesn't ever need to lie. He just says, I can't talk about that, or there's all kinds of stuff that we could take from that. So we're going to be having Cody Webb come up next here in a second, but obviously we've got fine sponsors like Fly Racing. So obviously Fly Racing stepped it up big this year. You've probably seen a lot of their new gear on a lot of the Supercross riders. We're going to have motocross coming out, so that means with motocross coming up is a lot of their spring lines going to be coming out. So you can either see that at flyracing.com as that gets ready to come out, or of course what we would prefer you do is actually go to your local dealer and purchase some Fly Racing products from there. They're the best way to make sure that you're supporting the support as Fly Racing does for us, so we appreciate that. And then Stillwell Performance, who used to sponsor Cody Webb so diligently, man. They made his bike just like so awesome. Well, you could have that awesome of a bike as well if you go to stillwellperformance.com, fill out the little rider survey, and have a chat with Alan. That all is free. And after that is it gets expensive after that, but it's definitely worth it. They do the best suspension work for off-road racing and riding out there, so go check them out at stillwellperformance.com. So, Mr. Cody Webb, I know you said you may have some bad Wi-Fi. You're out and about this evening, so what's going on? Where are you at?
I'm just at my parents' house right now, working on bikes today, and everyone's inside doing dinner and all that stuff, and there's no space for me, so I got booted outside.
Oh my gosh. You didn't say, guys, I'm Cody Webb. I'm on an internet show. Back off.
No, it didn't quite work out, but they did say hi to you, so at least you got love.
Do the people that have seen me drunk, are they the ones that actually said to say hi? Or is it the ones that only have seen me as a nice guy?
I think it's only guys that seen you at the races. Like my dad said hi. He doesn't go out to the bars much. So.
Nope. Yep. So okay, that means I need to work on my drunk Pierce because that means nobody really likes that guy. So we'll figure that out later. Well, dude, big changes for you. Obviously coming into 2015 with the new team, and then you got a chance to do a much bigger series at the Super Enduro. So we've got a couple Enduro crosses have started. Super Enduro is over at this point. You tried as hard as you could, but going into the year, how was the change over to the new bike?
The change was a little tough at first. The very first race in Poland was right after the finale in Vegas. So I only think I had 4 or 5 days on the new bike, and I didn't have anyone's contact at KTM at first when I first started there. So I just kind of was winging it.
You're like, hey guys, it's orange. That's all I know. Help.
Yeah, it's orange, and ahead of time I had them set up some suspension similar to what I thought I needed, and we went out there and kind of just winged it the first 2 races, and I think it kind of showed in the results, and after a little bit more time and getting more comfortable on the bike, the year definitely picked up for me.
Yeah, I would say so. So with the little bit longer Super Enduro schedule, and you guys kind of seeming to go over there as an entire team, which is awesome. Does it seem like there's a little bit more support there? From the sponsors, or is that just your team is just putting more of an effort for you guys and spending a little bit more money there so you guys can go race internationally?
Yeah, being an international rider, having to travel so far, the promoters actually assist.
Awesome.
Ty Tremaine and I, and covered our hotel rooms, and we just had to get over there and had a lot of bike support from KTM, and with the new RPM racing team, and I have a mechanic now, so after each race my mechanic would go back to the factory in Austria and prep bikes for the next race. So I actually had a lot of help from KTM, and the promoter treats the series almost as a show and kind of shows off our talents, and it was definitely a great precursor to the AMA Endurocross series, that's for sure.
Man, okay, so I want to talk a little bit more about the Super Enduro, but you just left that one so open to kind of roll in there. What are their differences? Obviously,
the differences between the two?
Between the two series, because similarities, they're a track, you're on a dirt bike, there's rocks, there's logs, there's shit set up for you to try to not crash on, but obviously there's way more than just that. So kind of break down how similar or how different those two series are.
I mean, anyone can say Endurocross is Endurocross, but it's definitely a lot different. There's one main promoter for the whole series, and he kind of has people basically set up each race. They kind of choose who they want to be a part of the FIM championship. So you're having different people build the track each time, and a lot of people are trying to scrounge for money. So Poland was a horrible track. I hated it. They had little minions running out and prepping the track with shovels from the 1800s. And in our series, we have Schaefer Tracks, who does every track. Same people do every track. You're always going to be seeing good maintenance and prep for the track. So there's a big difference in the way the tracks were designed. I mean, I guess the level of professionalism in each track weren't quite the same. And in AMA, it's the same. You're going to see roughly the same type of professional style track each race, and the actual racing is different there. There's 3 motos instead of 1 moto like Endurocross here. So it's only 6 minutes plus a lap. And at first I was in Endurocross, it's pretty hard to do 15-minute laps all out as fast as you can go, especially in a track like Daytona this year where it's so sandy, you're just fighting the bike the whole time in the sand. And it took me to realize, 6 laps, you can barely even get arm pumped that quick. So I kind of had to change and just pin it the whole time and not even care and do whatever you got to do to get to the front, because there's not enough time to make up ground in case you make a big mistake. So had a couple of races where I crashed in the first corner or something like that, and it was everything I could do to try and get to the front again. And with the AMA, you have a little bit more time to kind of make your way through the pack, I feel like, and pace yourself. And it was an all-out sprint all year pretty much once I figured out the format.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I would have never I mean, a lot of people are also going to realize I'm a Vet A rider. I'm definitely not a professional endurocross racer, but I would have never thought about that, how, your 15 laps is so much longer, where when you have 16 laps or 16 minutes plus a lap or whatever, it's like
6 minutes. 6 minutes plus
6
a lap.
minutes plus a lap. It's like, that's fast. Like, holy balls. Like, you got to be moving. So, yeah, you got to think about that totally different. So, I mean, I would get arm pump thinking about riding. So, I mean, it's going to hurt regardless for me. So, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think everyone deals with arm pump. Just depends on the level of extremity. And I don't know if you're getting enough seat time. I mean, you got seat time radio going on, but not enough actual seat time.
Nope.
And that affects you big time.
That does. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna. I've been riding and stuff, but not nearly enough of what you would call practicing for racing. We're getting ready to go to Baja next week to do the Rip to Cabo ride with like Cameron Steele and those dudes, and that's gonna be awesome. But that's 7 days, 1,500 miles. It's like I'm gonna have a leather taint. Like, it's just gonna be the consistency of leather. It's gonna be horrible. But I'll probably won't have arm pump because I won't be going fast. So that'll be good. Well, you're back in the States. Obviously, you talked about Daytona. Super, super sandy track. Kind of interesting, that we didn't really... I didn't feel like we saw a lot of the typical elements that we would see in a track, and even Salt Lake City seemed the same way. The water pits are kind of disappearing. Is that going to be a trend for this year?
I know Daytona, they had issues just because there wasn't really... They're hoping for clay, and that dirt was nothing but even close to clay. Right. It was like coffee grounds that was wet. So, Daytona was interesting. It was so different. Nothing like, we didn't have a water hole, and we still couldn't even ride through the rocks. So that was interesting. And then Salt Lake City was, I think there was in between basketball games. It was the most convenient time for them to get the track, and there just wasn't enough time to spend the time wait for the concrete to cure and all that stuff. So I think that's why they didn't have the water hole there. And I believe for the rest of the season, we'll be seeing water holes again. But Daytona would end up being really tough, just the sand. And, I was deadbeat tired after 15 laps. And it didn't help that I went down on the ground probably like 2 or 3 times in that race. And Salt Lake City, Colton and I slammed to each other at the second corner. And I basically fought from dead last all the way to 4th, and even caught 3rd, but kind of got hung up with the lapper. And I made a couple mistakes through there, and I was still ready to keep going after that. So Salt Lake was definitely an easier track, but, it was different and really fast paced. And I think it made for some pretty good racing, but I'm looking forward to a little bit tougher tracks and get some water back in this course, as that's what seems like I've been doing all year in Super Enduro, is just like ridiculous amounts of water, really slick, and couldn't even push it. And in Salt Lake City, it was just wide open the whole time, and no one's making mistakes when the track's that simple.
Yeah, and then they turn like crazy ass shit in the quads, like Mike Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, did you watch that when it happened?
Yeah, I saw it, and I was like, damn, I was waiting for someone to do that, and I didn't realize, but they kind of tended the track and took out a little bit of the kick on that. So
on purpose, like so that way you couldn't.
No, I think they just did some track prep, and maybe they did it on purpose. I don't know, but that was beastly, and the crowd loved it. So I think it's really cool that that track featured something where if someone was man enough to do it, they can hit it. And of course, that person was Mike Brown.
Of course, yeah. And it's like I've drawn a blank on which track it was, but they had the one last year where you guys were coming around that right-hand turn, and they were boosting that huge water hole. I think it was Taylor, Robert, and Mike Brown.
Ontario, the final round.
Holy moly, dude. That was insane. So that's because in that case, and it might have been the same on the quad, in that case, if you like Wally Palmer did, if you cased it, you ate shit because it just like caught your rear wheel and you went facing to the ground.
Yeah, that wouldn't have felt good. And then there was a turn after on this one. So if you hit it, you would have got bucked and then like probably flew out of the arena onto the concrete, and it would have messed you up big time.
Straight into the ambulance. Pew!
Yep.
That's where I need to be. I don't need to be trying to do quads and stuff. I mean, I can think about it, but that's really about it.
Wait, you want to ride quads? Is that what you said?
Damn it. Why do you have to... I told you that in confidence. That was not supposed to be public knowledge. Damn it. It's so much simpler. So how did you do with the travel this year? I know that last year... that was one of the things we chatted about, was that you just, the getting there with not enough time to get used to the food. And then, of course, so how did you do with travel this year with Super Enduro?
It's tough. And especially since I'm still in school, so I was trying to miss the least amount of time as possible. And it wasn't that easy. And a lot of the races, I'd just fly in, arrive the day before, and pop a bunch of sleeping pills and just try and crash out. And the first race in Poland, we actually showed up early and we landed and had issues with our flight getting in on time. We couldn't land in the actual airport because of the weather. So they flew us in another place and put everyone on the bus, and we didn't even end up getting to the original airport till like 3 a.m. and then hung out all day and then went to bed that night. And I literally woke up before 2 a.m. and I was just awake all morning from jet lag, and I had to race all day with no sleep. And that was the first moto where I was leading all the way to the end and went over the bars like an idiot on the last lap. And
you're like, ooh, that looks like a nice place to sleep.
I was literally trying to take a nap before opening ceremony, so that was a very rough one.
You're like, this is not going good.
Yeah, and then I went early to Germany, and I spent New Year's in Germany and had a really, really fun trip there. That was definitely the most fun I had all year traveling. I went early and did it right, and in the race I was just a little bit off on the setup again, and still, even though I was there for a week, I still was jacked up on sleep. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be screwed the rest of the year for all these. And I ended up just arriving like right before, and I'd get one good full night of rest, or like one full night's rest after popping sleeping pills, and I'd race, and then I'd pretty much come straight home before jet lag even really kicked in. So I was only like halfway out of it the whole time instead of fully. So it's not easy. It's hard to take all that time away to travel, and then you're taking time away from training and getting ready, but then you're a little more acclimated to the sleep. Or you can just wing it last second and hope you get one night rest before the race and wing it the day of the race. I don't know. I went back and forth deciding if I want to go early and late, and it seemed like just showing up last minute and hoping for the best ended up working by the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure. Is it in talks, or has it been even mentioned if it's something you guys would like to try to do again next year?
Yeah, no, it definitely, after, of course, right after the season, I'm like, oh, screw this, I don't want to do that anymore. But I'm sure I'm going to be having a lighter load next 2 semesters in school. It's my senior year. I've already got all the hard crap out of the way, and basically just have senior project and electives. So, I think I'll be able to afford a little more time to go and do it again. And it's definitely a little stressful to have to be in race shape all year, especially with the endurocross season being spread out after months now and huge break. You never really want to get out of your race pace and intensity and trainings. But so I guess it's a year-round deal for me now, but I'd like to do it again. So we'll just have to see what happens.
Right on. No, so you're tied right now with Colton Hicker in points. We got Mike Brown right there in third. You got your next round coming up May 1st in Vegas. What kind of, what do you work on as we lead up to that event?
Honestly, Colton was hurt coming into the first round. He's still probably coming back from that broken rib deal. And Brown did a bunch, seemed like he was doing the Australian series and stuff. And, I honestly haven't spent any time testing. I haven't spent one day testing yet with KTM. And that's, I think that's something I've kind of missed being in the Super Enduro series. I just haven't had the time to test different things and setups, and that's something we're hoping to do. I don't know if we'll be able to do it before Vegas, but now I'm actually home. I was gone for 6 weeks straight almost, and I'm only riding once, or maybe not even at all during the week. So I got some time now to kind of relax and get some enjoyment out of practicing and training. And I've been riding some moto a couple days now and fixing the watering system on my endurocross track this week. So I think I'll be a little more ready in terms of the mind state for the next round. I've been on the road so much lately. I hadn't had time to put the effort in. I'd been in like a race set of mind mode from doing all the super enduros, but I hadn't had any preparation at all. And I think we'll be a little bit more prepared in terms of the AMA type style racing for the next race.
Yeah. Does it suck that Vegas isn't the season finale anymore? I mean, is it just weird that it's in the middle of the season?
It doesn't seem right, It was cool kind of as the opener, and now it's not the opener, and now it's just kind of in the middle, and the alligator just isn't quite as spectacular as it used to be anymore, apparently.
Well, I'll try to make it out, and that way we can at least step it up a little percentage.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can get Jolene Von Hoyt out there again, and I get to be there to creep her out the whole time. I'm sure interesting things will happen.
Yeah, positive. No, it definitely is. It's really cool to end off the year in Vegas, and it's kind of a good way to blow off some steam after a long season. But we got to do what we got to do, and this is kind of what I'm doing is my professional career right now, so I don't get to play too much.
Yeah, yep, that's absolutely the truth. So quickly, what is your degree in before we let you go? It's interesting that you're getting close to your senior year, and we don't even know what you're going to be, man.
Oh, man, I'm going to be a mechanical engineer. I'll have a piece of paper that automatically guarantees me like an extra $30,000 a year or something ridiculous like that.
That's what they say. That's what they say. I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll see.
I don't know either. I really love what I'm doing right now, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm going to prolong that out for as long as I can.
Yeah.
And, honestly, I'm scared about going into the real world. I don't know. Do people like me get accepted? I think my brain's always twisting in a different method. And, it's a little nerve-wracking, but, I really want to get that degree. It's something I've been working for quite a long time now. And, I just want to get out of the way and be able to move forward with my racing career for a little while longer. And, I know it doesn't last forever, so I have to figure out what to do eventually.
Yeah, well, if I can add some positivity to your little bit of negativity, yes, people like you do get accepted in the real world. And you know why I know that? Because people like me get accepted in the real world. So you, my friend, have got it made. You're much taller than I am. You're more handsome. You're going to have a better degree than I do, which mine's shit, so whatever. So
your hair's looking pretty good right now, though. I'll give it to you.
Thanks. It's
kind of beats the man bun you had last year.
You like the man bun. You're the first one that called me out too when that picture came up. You were like, man bun. I was like, whoa, buddy, there it is. We're just all up in it.
Yep.
I'm gonna be trimming the mustache up some though the end of this week. You don't
want to get attacked by all the ponchos down in Mexico.
I don't want them to have something to hold on to. No. We're riding 7 days, and I'm not gonna bring mustache wax. Like I'm not giving a shit.
You're gonna get a lot of dirt in there too.
That's why I'm trimming it. I don't want to have a bunch of because when it's past my chin when it's not waxed up. It's effing long. So
Jeez.
I just don't want to deal with that in my helmet for 7 days for probably 12, 13 hours on the bike. So I'm gonna trim it up, nice and short, so I don't have to worry about waxing it or nothing. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird, dude. It's going to be weird. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sure you put a lot of work into it.
I have. Years, man. Years. It's almost been 2 years since I've had this thing.
Damn.
What have you done for 2 years, buddy?
I don't know. Just tried to even get some type of mustache going on. And
facial hair in general?
Then I realized, you know what? Nope. Baby face for life.
You're like, hey, guys, I could be from Oklahoma. Look how cool I am. White trash. Well, cool, man. Well, I know you said you stepped away from dinner and the family. Make sure you tell them that we said hi. We look forward to seeing them all again at X Games come June 4th and 5th, I believe, sometime around there.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I hope you're looking forward to that because I know I am. I think it's going to be a good time.
Yep. Have some omissions with you after the race, I guess.
Damn straight, buddy. It'll happen. All right, man. Thank you very much for taking time away from the family and from life to be on the show. We really appreciate it, and we will obviously chat with you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Brian.
Peace.
Bye.
Awesome. So Mr. Cody Webb coming on after Mr. Kailub Russell, who was on first. Cody Webb's a great dude as well. Obviously, most of the riders that we have on are pretty awesome. There's a few that might be a little hot-headed or this, that, the other sometimes, but hey, that's okay. Everybody's their own person, and we like having the different personalities to be on the show and to talk about everything that's going on in their life. So, of course, this has been Seat Time. We are the online show for the off-road enthusiasts, and we're brought to you by Fly Racing. You can find out all of our archived shows on the site, so seattime.co. Of course, we're on Facebook, facebook.com/seattime. We're on Twitter. It's @_CO. @seattime_CO. I was like, that sounded wrong. @seattime_CO. And then, of course, on Instagram, we're just regular old @seattime. So Fly Racing, obviously, we'd love it if you go check out flyracing.com or go to your local dealer and ask about seeing some of the Fly Racing products they have there. The Sector boots are out. Reviews are good. And I have not, unfortunately, had a chance to try a pair out. When I do, I will be able to tell you my thoughts and opinions on those and either push them on you or see what happens. Of course, Kinda Tire. You can find out more at kindatire.com. The National Enduro, unfortunately, did get canceled that they are the title sponsor of here in Texas. And it will not be rescheduled, which sucks for all of us. But that's kind of what happens. So coming up, we're going to be in Tennessee in the next couple weeks. Definitely go to kindatire.com. They have a comparison chart there. You can check out the different tires they have, see what's going to be working best for that event. Or maybe you could message us on the Facebooks or the Twitters, and we will find out for you. We can get in touch with our Kinda reps and give you all the goods. And then Stillwell Performance, as I mentioned, I did just get my Stillwell Performance box. I'm going to be sending off my new 2015 350 XC suspension, so that 4CS, that is what they're known for. Obviously, they do a very good job on everything else, but if you've got 4CS and you're going, oh my gosh, this is so harsh, Stillwell's Performance is who you want to send it to, so I'm going to be sending it off while I'm in Baja on the 05 450 EXC that we just, fingers crossed, pray to God that thing does not blow up on me again. Right, Steven? Yeah, I know. What the hey? What the hey? So I think we have a title for this episode. It'll be Little Minions Prepping the Track. I think I was like, that is a title right there. Needs to happen. I really appreciate that from Mr. Cody Webb. He has brought it to us hot. So obviously, this has been Seat Time. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. We will be live again next week. It'll be interesting because I am going to be in Baja, so I'm not actually going to be the host. We're going to have Jordan and either Cooper or her stepdad, Scott Bailey, will be in the show, and we're going to Skype guys in just like we always do. If I can get to a spot where I can call in, I will call in on that Tuesday evening to the show to make sure that you guys understand like what's going on in Baja and how things are going. I think it'll be interesting to be the guest. I'm excited to do that. And then, of course, that next Tuesday, I'll still be out of town. I will be in Cabo at that point, though, so I will be able to Skype into the show if I can get some Wi-Fi. If not, I'd love to call in and tell you guys again kind of like what's been happening with Cameron Steele, the Rip to Cabo guys, all that kinds of stuff. If any of that changes, obviously we'll let you know, but we're starting to get things lined up to where people will be here in studio running the show while I'm gone, and we're going to want to know what you guys think about that. So definitely find us if you have it before on all of our social stuff, because I'm going to be keeping that pretty up to date while I'm out there at Rip to Cabo. I am at Woody B. Pierced pretty much on everything, on Twitter and Instagrams. And of course, I'm on Facebook. That's the best way to follow me, though, is Instagram. I'm going to be putting a lot of pictures there on the Rip to Cabo trip. So thank you very much for paying attention. Thank you again to our sponsors. We really appreciate it. I may not see you next week, but we will be here. And remember, always enjoy a pint full of awesome. Peace.